You be told to not touch the dial, but I tell you to touch the dial and increase the volume. You're like, keep it locked, it's Afro Gospel.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to Political Lens. I am Chukwuma Okoro. In case you don't know, we are broadcasting on Metro SLTV channel 264 on YouTube and other social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. You can also be a part of this conversation by calling in or sending WhatsApp messages to the number scrolling on your screen. You can also go to the YouTube comment section and let us know your thoughts about the topics of discussion. On the show today, Fubara bows to power, appoints Wike'S men as Chief of Staff, Secretary to the state government. Protests rock Kano over El Rufai's continued detention. And Senate committee asked for additional 30 billion naira for INEC to boost 2027 election. Well, let's bring in our guests. We've been joined in the studio here in Lagos, where we're broadcasting from, by Mr. Darlington Agommo. Mr. Agommo is a lawyer and a political affairs analyst. He will help us make sense of these topics. Good evening, Mr. Agommo, and thanks for joining me on Political Lens.
Good evening, Mr. Koran. How are you?
Very well. Good to have you, sir. I appreciate your presence.
My pleasure.
And we've also been joined virtually by Mr. Chris Ojekere. Mr. Ojekere is a political affairs analyst, but he is coming to this show to help us provide context to what happened in Benin City, Edo State, on Tuesday, where members of the ADC who had gone to welcome Olumide Akpata into their fold were attacked by hoodlums. And, well, it's been an ongoing conversation. And I would like for Chris to help us provide more context because Nigerians are still interrogating what happened in Benin City on Tuesday. Good evening to you, Chris Ojekere. And thanks for joining us on Political Lens.
Thank you for having me this evening again.
Yeah, thank you. Beautiful. Good to have you. We've been wanting to talk to you. Well, let's get into it. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, your party has accused the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, of orchestrating a gun attack and assassination attempt against its leaders in Edo State, describing the incident as political terrorism and a threat to Nigeria's democracy. Well, the party said it is compiling evidence of alleged intimidation and violence against its members and plans to take the matter before the ECOWAS Court of Justice, as well as reports to diplomatic missions. Well, the ADC's National Public Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, said the party will pursue all lawful avenues, including international legal action, if attacks persist. While condemning alleged inflammatory remarks by Edo State Governor Mondo Bebelo, the party urged its members to remain calm, vigilant, and law-abiding, insisting it will not bow to intimidation. Now, Chris, I've been wanting to speak to you since this event happened on Tuesday. This incident happened on Tuesday, but I understand you have been very busy, trying to manage the situation. Now, bring us to the speed of the moment. This morning, Kasim Afebua, the media advisor to Governor Okpebolo, was on a national TV, and he said, well, it is possible, most likely, that people who attacked the ADC members were prevented from attending that meeting. Help us walk through all of this. What happened? Briefly, let us know what happened. Because I understand that you were, at that point, one of the compares of the occasion. Bring us up to the minute of what has been happening up until this moment.
All right, let me just tell you what happened as an incident yesterday. On Tuesday. Now, the Labour Party in Edo State had decided that they were going to defect en masse to the ADC. And they were being led by Olumide Akpata, who was the last governorship candidate that they had in 2023. His Excellency Peter Obi decided to grace the occasion because, as you know it, Edo State is described as Nigeria's headquarters of the obedient movement. Peter Obi has a large followership here. And I think that is always the point, the flashpoint, every time his name is mentioned in Edo State. You recall that the governor of Edo State had warned on public television, in fact, threatened Peter Obi on public television not to come to Edo State. It received wide condemnation from all over the world, and people couldn't understand why a governor does not know his limit within the constitution. So, however, Peter Obi decided to come to grace the occasion, as I have said. We were inside that our secretariat. All of the leaders were seated inside the secretariat. They made speeches well, and then we decided to leave the secretariat to go to Chief John Oyego's house. We had left shortly. It wasn't quite 7 minutes. We were in Chief John Oyego's house. When we started seeing feeds, video feeds, people were covering it live. Those, because the secretariat is in a community of residential houses, and there were those who could see through their windows, there were those who could hide that they didn't see. And we are watching live as these hoodlums of the APC were maltreating people, shooting at some, destroying every property in sight. The DJ who had been outside to organize the event outside, every of his equipment was seized, his laptop was taken, phones were being robbed off citizens who were around the place. Everyone wearing ADC cap or t-shirt was being manhandled and beaten. The women who were selling opposite the secretariat and by the sides of the secretariat, their properties were being destroyed, their drinks being destroyed, their bottles being used as weapons, and so on and so forth. These hoodlums kept saying, we told Peter Obi not to come to Edo State, and you people went to bring him. We told Peter Obi not to come to Edo State, and you people went to bring him. Now, why we were wondering there at Oyegun's house what to do, how to handle the situation. Of course, we are quickly called the security forces, and we're hearing blasts, which we found out later was blast of windshield, blast of the back sheet of vehicles, tires were busting, headlights were busting, even they shot into petrol tanks. But just like God saved the situation, there was no explosion and the fire. Then suddenly, the bullets turned to the gates of this national leader, the first executive governor of Edo State, an octogenarian of over 86 years. They turned their guns and their bullets to his gate. I started shooting at the gate. And the shooting was so torrential, we were afraid that the gate might burst open and they would come in. The police in the compound could no longer resist it. They had to now repel these people by rushing towards the gate and opening fire. And when they saw that the police were there and opening fire, they ran away. They left mayhem in their train. They left destruction of property. It's God that saved us that no life was lost. The injured now are in the hospital. The Ward 10 chairman of ADC lives not far away from the secretariat. Some of them had gone to his house while they were committing that mayhem at the secretariat to go and beat him up. The woman that was selling by the side of the house that has nothing at all to do with ADC broke all her chairs that she was selling things with and beat up the daughter of the man. That's exactly what happened there on that Tuesday. Now, to hear that some people who have sold their souls to the devil, who could not show one single empathy, that Edo State sons and sons are being used as thugs, murderers, and the causers of mayhems, who could not show one single, fellow feeling that things like that are happening right under their watch in the state where they say they are the chief security officer. We hear some of them suggesting that it was what they call internal wrangling. Now, let me tell you about the so-called internal wrangling. The person they are referring to is the first chief whip of the Nigerian Senate, himself an octogenarian. Roland Owe is known by all. His politics is known by all. Everybody knows that he cannot even imagine such thing. And to make matters worse for their foolish speculations, Roland Owe was himself inside the hall. I was the one anchoring that occasion. I introduced him as the first chief whip of Nigerian Senate in the Fourth Republic. He addressed the occasion the same way that Chief John Odigwe addressed the occasion. They were sitting side by side. Okay. In between them was the former governor of Edo State, Professor Soreme Sumbo. And it was a camaraderie. You can imagine a place where you have Peter Obi, you have the former Labour Party candidate in Edo State, you have John Odigwe, you have the former governor, Professor Soreme Sumbo himself, Chief Rolando Ware, and was such a wonderful, spirit going on there. There have not been anything they call wrangling. What they are referring to as wrangling was that they saw Chief Roland Owe complaining that the leader, the national leader, Chief John Odige Oyegu, is carrying out a leadership style that he didn't like, and that it was time to call him to order to change his tactics. It was nothing personal. It was an expression of opinion of how the leadership style, as he thinks, is being carried out. And as I speak to you right now, if Chief Owe is not in Chief Oyegu's house, they'll be talking on phone. I mean, in the hall, they'll be talking. I am waiting, not giving you stories that are. So what they did, and what confirmed to us more, the only people pushing that narrative is the APC. What they did, because the only language they speak is violence, and the only thing they understand is violence when they have a disagreement, they thought they found the major disagreement and thought they could cash in on it. They used alibi and cashed in on it. We also have our own way.
Chris, all right, Chris, thank you very much for providing this elaborate context to what happened on Tuesday. We'll keep interrogating it. But as at the moment, has anybody been arrested for that incident in Edo State?
Just repeat.
Can you hear me? Has anybody been arrested as at this moment?
Nobody has arrested. The police keeps telling us that they are investigating. We have asked the APC, as the chief security officer of the state, the governor, what are you doing about it? He said they are investigating, and the culprits should be brought to book. And we said, okay, we are waiting for the culprits to be brought to book. But we are also, as you read just now, as a party, a responsible party, we are not going to fold our arms. We have right within the law to also do our investigation.
All right. If the party is not, ADC is not going to fold its arms.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's bring in Barrister Darlington into this conversation so that he can give us the legal perspective to it all. Now, ADC says, well, they are compiling, incidents of this magnitude, of this manner, leveled against the ADC in some parts of Kebbi State, in Lagos State, now in Edo State, that they are compiling, these events and will likely take them to the ECOWAS court. Why the ECOWAS court? Why do you think that they want to go to ECOWAS court?
Yes, the best option for the party, that is ADC, is to head for the courts. But from all indications, the courts in Nigeria has given the public the perception that they are working with APC. So anything that will be against APC will not see the light of day in our court today. I mean, there are cases, plethora of cases that never saw the light of day, especially that of Rivers State, where lawmakers defected. And when the matter got to court, the court now started to cry more than the bereaved. The court was now trying to input what was not even there in section 109. And so up to today, that matter was never resolved because it will be against APC. And so when you look at other cases, there are so many. In fact, one lawyer compiled all of them. There are too much to mention. So people are now having that perception that anything that you are going to the court with APC, just don't waste your time. It will never see the light of, you will not get justice. That is a fact. Then two, section 94 of the Electoral Act made a clear provision that whenever any party is to hold an occasion anywhere in any state, that they should be given what? Protection. Clearly stated. Clearly stated. So our laws are being violated. In fact, at times, I will look embarrassed trying to quote the law and what it provides for. Because I know I'm just wasting my time. Nobody will listen to you. APC doesn't obey our laws. They don't obey court. In fact, ECOWAS court even said that the worst culprit in disobedience of their judgment is Nigeria. Imagine a whole ECOWAS court where Nigeria is playing a major role, they don't obey their decision and their judgment. And so with all these things, Mr. Okoro, what do you expect the public to now think? What I'm saying here is that it may go to a stage where everybody may now resort to self-help.
Barrister, is that going to solve our problem?
But what option do you have? Why do you have the court? Is it not to adjudicate on matters so that you can get justice? And then you have your peace of mind. When you get justice, do you know how it feels when you go to court and you get justice? For something you know that, yes, you deserve justice and you get it. It gives you peace of mind. You are relaxed. You feel jubilant. But when you now go there, instead of getting there, they will even blame you. They will turn the case around and then blame you for bringing it to the court. Mr. Okoro, what option do you think the people have? Except to do what? Resort to self-help. And so when this thing happens, instead of even calling the police, you say, yeah, let us, we die here today. You go and get your own gun or your own cutlass. That is where APC is driving us to. They will not take cognizance of what they are doing now until people resort to this type of behavior. Then they will now turn around and look for those they will slam reasonable felony on their head. And whenever you do anything now, even a minor quarrel, they say you want to overthrow the government, just to keep in the cooler. So where we are heading to is very, very dangerous. Do you know what happened? This thing that happened in Edo, have you imagined why anytime the opposition or P2B want to do anything in any place that is APC state, they will never allow that meeting to hold. They will go there and scatter everything. Have you not noticed the trend? Some people will go there and they'll call them hoodlums as if they don't know who they are.
Okay, so Barrister, do you think that they're going to ECOWAS court to solve this problem? Because, I mean, the ECOWAS court, their judgment, is it binding on Nigeria?
Why not? It's binding. It's binding. It's just that they don't obey it. And
so what will be the consequence? At
least let it be on record that, yes, such a thing happened.
Okay, just for record.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it will be reference point. Because one day, the chicken will come home to roost. One day, the chicken will come home to roost. And the day of remembrance, we shall remember all your atrocities in office, and these ones will be counted among them.
Barrister, if you look at what Monday Ogbebolo, governor of Edo State, said last year and what happened on Tuesday, does it look like he's taking this attack, against Obi personal? Obi's political ambition, does it look like he's taking it personal?
Is it not obvious? This is a governor who has a very big problem with figures. This is a governor who is a paranoid. That is, any semblance of opposition is like a nightmare to him. And the man that just spoke that obedient movement is like their headquarters is in Edo State. So whenever the governor hear or see anybody or anything that resembles Obi, he doesn't seem settled. And so he wouldn't want Obi to even come to Edo State to campaign, or anybody in Edo State to campaign for Obi, or anybody in Edo State to say he is in support of Obi. That is the impression this man is giving. But it can never happen. It's not possible. It can never happen. He's just wasting his time. This thing he's doing now, he is demarketing himself. Already, his shortcomings is not enough, and he's now adding this to it. His shortcomings have become a subject of post shots in the social media. It's not enough. He's now adding this one again. That means this man has already failed. He has already failed. And that is the truth. Because by 2027, there will be no godfather to help him. All of them will be campaigning for the election. Is that not true? Everybody, both the National Assembly members and the governors, all of them will be campaigning for what? Re-election.
But is there anything that can be done, to douse the tension about Obi going to Edo State?
Douse it?
Yes.
No.
There's already tension.
What do you Obi? Peter Obi, if you have any business to do in Edo State tomorrow, go there. What are you telling me? Peter Obi, if you have anything to do in Edo State tomorrow, go there. Go there. They are just trying to blow hot air. They can't do anything. They want to frighten him.
Barrister, in the aftermath of what happened in Edo State, there's a social media post that is trending on X. One young man is saying, well, Peter Obi, the Edo people missed you. We are not going to miss. Don't dare venture into Rivers State.
To talk.
So how do you react to that?
I have just told Obi now, Obi, anywhere you want to go for any meeting or go there. Don't entertain any fear. They want to frighten you. Your name is Okute Ndibo, Okute Nigeria. Don't let this riffraff threaten you. Obi, hear me and hear me out. Let them scratch your skin like this. Then they will not know that
if they scratch your skin, what do you think?
I said they will not know that Igbos, the gentility of a lion is not a sign of weakness. So. We have fought a civil war where we faced 3 world powers, three of them. That was in 1967. Now, you imagine what will happen with all the technology and with all we have known now. We have done it before. We are ready to do it again. If you push us to the wall, we will fight back. Okoro, if anybody push us to the wall, we will fight back. That is the fact. How long can we continue to keep quiet and be afraid? Who in this country? Mention any other person who have contributed more than Igbos in this country. Mention the person. Mention the group. So for what reason should anybody be threatening you? Look at Rivers. Look at Rivers that we saved yesterday. Is it because we don't want to talk? We saved them yesterday. The federal government wanted to use them as what? As slaves. Go and listen to what Ahmadu Bello said. Yes, Ahmadu Bello. In October, 12th of October 1960, that 11 days after our independence. Yes, 12th of October 1960. Go and listen to
what did he say? What did
he
say?
Said that this enclave called Nigeria belongs to them, and they will never allow any of these minorities to see the light of day. They will never be allowed to be on their own. They will always be their slaves and all that. I said, go and make. I have written about it in the Sun newspaper.
Okay.
And so this River State was among them. That was why Abacha, in fact, his second home was in that River State. When Kensaro Riwa was hobnobbing with him, he thought that he had seen a friend. At the end of the day, was it not Abacha that orchestrated his death? In fact, Abacha said that he knows that this man has some power.
Okay,
that they should not block him.
Barrister, let's return to the topic.
So these are the people that are talking to the Igbos now.
Okay.
We should tell them their history.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Barrister Agomo. And to you, Chris, we'll come back to you in a bit as we move on with this discussion. But regarding the what happened to the ADC in Edo State, we'll stay in touch with you and you continue to provide us, developments. It's a developing story. We'll see all of that. What the government is going to do about arresting and prosecuting the perpetrators of that very dastardly act. Now, let's go to Rivers State, where Sim Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, has appointed Dr. Dagogo S. Ewokoma as the new secretary to the state government and Barrister Sonny Ewule as chief of staff. Where the appointments were announced in a statement by his chief press secretary and takes immediate effect, with the swearing-in scheduled for 2 p.m. at the executive chamber, Government House, Port Harcourt. That's today, as we speak now. If it is not underway, it will have finished by now. Well, Wokoma replaces Mr. Benibo Anabaraba, while Ewule succeeds Edison here. No official reasons were given for the changes, though the reshuffle follows the recent political tension in the state. Fubara had earlier dissolved his cabinet of commissioners and relieved his special advisors of their duties, while the appointments are believed to be linked to the recent reconciliation between Fubara and his godfather, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. After intervention by President Bola Tinubu, the Rivers State House Assembly had withdrawn impeachment proceedings against the governor and his deputy following the president's mediation. Barrister, we are back to Rivers, back to the power play in Rivers. Fence mended, new alliances, peace in Rivers. What's going on?
It is because the Fubara is a political orphan. That is just the only reason why this nonsense is going on.
Political orphan, he's a member of the APC.
I said he is a political orphan. If not, why would a Tinubu be supporting Wike against a sitting governor of a state who is using his own governor?
What do you mean by the Tinubu supporting Wike?
Who is supporting Wike?
The president has been the one making peace all along.
Which peace?
Like the recent peace.
This is the peace of a graveyard. This is now, look, with this kind of peace, I don't need enemies. You are supporting an ex-governor to be my leader in a state where I'm the governor. What kind of peace is that?
Is that what the president said?
What did you hear when he told Fubara that Wike is your political leader in Rivers State? What
But that does
mean?
not mean that he's the leader of Rivers State government.
Can you just imagine? How can we have two leaders in a state?
One is political leader, one is government leader.
Where did that happen in Nigeria?
Where did
it happen?
Sherry Oborowe said, I'm the governor, but I have many leaders in the state. How many political leaders in the state? You heard him say
Hold on, please. When you are making this type of references, you have to be circumspect. On what context?
The state governor said it.
On what context was he saying it?
What is the context?
Okay,
it grew out of the altercation, the problem between Wike and Fubara.
Okay, hold on. Who is the chief security officer of a state? Who?
Of course, the governor.
Good. Chief security officer. And by implication, any governor in any state is the leader of that party in that state.
It's not in context. Even the APC chairman said, what's his name? National Public Secretary Felix Moka said, Fubara is the leader of the party in the state. APC, talking about APC. Yes.
So, where does Wike come in?
I said Wike is the leader. He's a political leader. Which Fubara admits, by the way.
Really?
Yes, he's my leader.
He admitted because he's an orphan. He doesn't have a father to protect him.
And you just asked me, where else does that happen? And I pointed Delta State to you. Where the governor, without prompting on his own, said, I am the governor, but I have many political leaders.
Leave that one. Please, leave
Barrister,
that one. Don't use that man in Edo State.
Who?
I'm talking of a man who could not read his own budget. I'm
talking about Sherry Oborowe, the governor of Delta State.
Okay, Delta.
Yes.
Really? Oh, Delta State.
You didn't hear him say that?
Hold on. All the places you are mentioning, are they APC states or Labour? Or
Delta is APC state.
Oh, APC.
Yes.
So you are using what they are saying in APC as a yardstick.
What else should I use? As at last count, by tomorrow or next tomorrow or Monday, we'll have 31.
So,
because Ahmadu Fintiri is moving over to the APC. So the Speaker and 15 lawmakers have already dumped the PDP, already in APC, in preparation for the governor's final defection.
Ogoro, please, when you want to make references, don't you go and check how these guys.
Okay, when I want to make reference, I should go to the state of Texas or the state of Washington.
Please, I think where there is sanity.
Barrister, let's come to Lagos State.
Where there is sanity.
Barrister, in Lagos State, where you and I, where we live and work, who is the political leader of Lagos State?
Go and ask from Olu.
No, I'm asking you. You are the analyst here.
Look, I have just told you here, whatever is happening with APC is not a yardstick. It's not a very authentic yardstick to measure political.
When T.L.G. was the governor of Abia State, who was the political leader of the state?
You are still going foul.
Which foul? You said we should leave APC. I've gone back to PDP.
What happened in Abia State with between T.L.G. and Ojekalo? What happened to them?
What happened? Who was the political leader? Who was the governor? What
happened at the end of the day? Did the T.L.G. follow his so-called political leader? When you are now turning politics into godfatherism and all that, is that what you want me to sit here and clap?
Okay, so Barrister, which one should we use as a reference point where things are
don't use an aberration for
Barrister,
what is right.
Now,
These are aberrations.
I'm asking you, which one should we use as a good reference, a decent reference point?
Use states that the governor is in charge. The governor is the political leader, is the chief security officer. There are APC states. I mean, there are PDP states.
Like which
where
state?
nobody.
Like which state?
You don't know. You mean all the states? No more PDP.
Barrister, let's move away. Barrister, let's move away from this.
They don't have
now,
Godfather.
Barrister, what has happened in Rivers State? You call it that, well...
It's an aberration.
It's an aberration.
Yes. Don't use it as a yardstick.
So apparently, Fubara has bowed to superior power.
Yes, of course, because there's an orphan. An orphan, what do you expect an orphan?
Okay, let's quickly run to Chris Ojekere and get his opinion on this. Chris, what do you think that is going on in Rivers State? New chief of staff to the governor, new secretary to the state government. By the way, this was what caused the problem initially. Fubara at some point said, I can't be the governor. You appoint my commissioner for finance, you appoint my chief of staff, you appoint secretary to the government, to the state government, you appoint commissioner for works and all of that. Why am I the governor? Looks like we are back to what caused the problem. Does it look like the problem has been solved?
So the ability to be able to understand a context, and I mean that word in both ways. I mean it as background and I mean it as a contestation. You should be able to understand the context in which you want to have a contestation as to determine whether you should get into that contestation or not. I recall that I once said in this your studio that Fubara should be a hero. And by being a hero, I mean he should take steps that are totally at polar end to whatever steps that they are asking him to take. But the moment he decided that he was going to defect to the APC, I knew he had lost the battle. Fubara would have remained as an opposition governor, and when he was unjustly removed, it was my opinion then that he should have walked away and leave the president and Wike'S with the constitutional crisis that they have created. Now, they petted him back, so he's not coming out of this a hero. Now they are humbling him more and more every day.
Exactly.
And you have just rightly pointed out what history will always point out. Why in the first place did you go through all the routes, only for you to come back to begin to succumb or to accept the things you say you had protested against? So, you see, it tells us that he's not the man for the cause. The man for the cause would have fought that cause and made sacrifices. And such sacrifices would have left him a hero. And because the world is cyclical, what goes around comes around, he would someday have come to reap that his heroism. He might have suffered some temporary setback. But right now, he's going to go down in history as one of those that fell to these powers that be. That's exactly what has happened. The little argument you had there in the studio just now, with respect to him, he has submitted his authority and his leadership of the state to Wike'S, and that's what Wike'S has always said and asked. So that's what has happened in Rivers State. And as he has started to compromise, there is no way he can stop halfway. He's just going to compromise through. So all he was fighting before, and nobody can now define what cause he was fighting before, except to just say he was a man that didn't have the courage to carry through a revolution which he was opportune to have.
All right, Chris. Now, having this in mind, how are you able to predict 2027 for Fubara? Because Wike'S has said clearly, pointedly, you are not coming back as governor in 2027. We will look for somebody that we can work with. Do you see Fubara, upsetting the apple cart or what? Maybe trying to play some game and say, okay, I'm lawyer now. Let me just do a second term. Do you see that happening?
Every politician of the kind of warped psyche and mentality of Wike'S and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Brother Tinubu, will never allow Fubara to come back in 2027. Because every deference that he has made now is going to be seen as hypocritical, and then his desire to hold on to power and to gain personal glory by it is already known to them. That's the game they play very well. So they are already rejoicing now as gladiators that they have won and defeated him. They're going to take him out of the way. You don't, in politics, is like the military. Once they smell your disloyalty, and especially if it gives them the kind of discomfort, the kind of bad image that it gave them, and it's an unforgivable sin. But because they cannot do away with you just now, it serves their purpose to use you to achieve a greater purpose or a larger purpose. They will use you.
Yes. As far as Chris is concerned, Fubara is not likely to come back in 2027. Barrister, while Chris was speaking, I saw you shake your head in agreement. Do you agree with him?
Yes, I do. Because just like I wanted to, I was going somewhere until you brought him in.
Okay.
Sincerely speaking, if I were in the shoes of Fubara, I would have walked away. I wouldn't have come back after the state of emergency.
Who has done that before?
Because nobody has done it, therefore
nobody can do. We are looking at it.
Somebody must do something someday. Somebody must start something. That is what we are calling principled men.
Okay.
We don't have them in our Nigeria, especially with what we have today. No principled, nobody. And that is how countries are built. That's how societies are built. When you have principled men who will be so rigid in frowning at evil, those men always lead the trend. They lead the bandwagon. People will not see somebody they can look up to. And before you know it, it will take effect. Rosa Parks swore she will never vacate her seat for a white man in America in 1955. Was that not the beginning of liberation for the blacks? Did anybody hold any meeting anywhere and say we are going to do it? No, that single action, it reverberated all over America, and immediately the thing caught like wildfire. Okoro, was that not the beginning of liberation? Somebody must start something. The world is waiting for you. The society is waiting for you to start something. You will see how they will rally around you and say, thank God, we have been waiting for somebody to do this. We have been waiting for somebody to say this. We have been waiting for somebody to start this thing. That is always the point. We don't have such men in Nigerian politics.
All right, then. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Agomo. We'll keep reviewing and following updating politics in Rivers State and watching closely to see what happens by 2027. Now, let's run to Kaduna, where supporters of former state governor Nasiru El-Rufai protested in Kaduna over his continued detention, demanding his release and threatening a mass march in Abuja. Well, he was initially questioned by the Economic Commission and later transferred to the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, ICPC, while the Department of State Services, DSS, failed to produce him in court for arraignment on cyber crime-related charges. Well, the court adjourned the case to April 23 and declined to hear his bail application before arraignment. Authorities say he's been lawfully detained over alleged financial misconduct and unlawful interception of communications, while his aides and opposition figures, including Atiku Abubakar, have raised concerns about his health and due process. Legal experts note that constitutional limits on detention without charge, and analysts suggest the involvement of multiple agencies has fueled speculation about political motivations as the matter proceeds in court. Mr. Agomo, El-Rufai seems to have a cult followership in Kaduna. Is this organic or sponsored? I mean, people protested because of his continued detention in Kaduna State. What is going on?
I have two prognoses or two analyses on this matter.
Go ahead, sir.
One, my Bible tells me that whatever you sow, you will reap. Okay. That is an incontrovertible law. Even God cannot change that law. He's the one that said it. The law of karma. It definitely comes around at every point in time. Then legally speaking, it is wrong for you to detain anybody more than 48 hours without taking him to court and without providing a charge. You can see the two extreme cases. Now, El-Rufai, the offense he was alleged to have committed is a bailable offense under the law. Bailable. So on what basis are you now extending his detention? Nobody explained to us. You see when I told that APC, this administration, they don't obey our laws. They don't obey our laws.
We also have a law that empowers the police to detain someone more than 48, 72 hours. If they feel strongly that releasing the person is going to impede investigation.
Good.
You are aware of that.
Then the law says that you must have done your investigation.
Okay.
Before what? Is
that some form of contradiction? If the law says you can, and if the law says again, like you said, You must have concluded the investigation. So why detain the person?
That's what I'm telling you here. That
so you are against that law?
What are you telling me?
It's a contradiction.
Yes.
In terms.
Go and check. Even in the Western world, before you can pull a man in, you must have done your work, your investigation, undercover everything, so that by the time you now bring him in, you'll be showing him his crime. Just show him these are the things you have done. Remember Ekuremadu. Remember our own Ekuremadu. Before the UK police brought him in, his investigation was waiting for him. As he landed in the airport, they come and see what you have done. Is that not what happened? That is what civilized people do, Omisokoro. You cannot detain a man endlessly. Then later, what after the investigation, you now discover that this man, he's innocent too. Who pays for the detention? Do you see why the law have taken care of that aspect? That you don't detain a man illegally. Except the matter was on the spot. Maybe, yes, you are an officer of the law. You saw a crime being committed. You can take the man in immediately, based on what you have seen. But when you are investigating a man for what he has done or what he was alleged to have done, you don't take him in. You do your investigation. Get all the facts he did not do. He won't even know that you're investigating him. He won't know.
Right.
When you are finished, you cannot pick him.
Okay, Mr. Gomo, we seem to be actually running out of time. So let's quickly run back to Chris.
So please,
I'll come back to you. Chris, the North seems to be divided. Why people like Hakeem Baba Ahmed are asking El-Rufai to answer to questions of fraud? People like Atiku perceive it, from the angle of political persecution. What do you see in all of this? Quickly.
More with the barrister, because our opinions are based on our own experiences and worldview. I believe very much in the law of retributive justice. What a man sows, he will reap. There are things beyond the law, or beyond what you refer to as the letters of the law. There are spiritual implications to certain actions, and sometimes they come back to visit us. But I also agree perfectly also with it. The law should be just to everybody. It should be equal. It should pursue equity, whether he's a Muslim, whether he's a Christian, whether he's from which part of the country. And so on that basis, we are going to have to speak for the law and on behalf of the law and in position of the law. So there is no law, even if laws contradict, there are other, legal processes and other substantial evidence and so on and so forth, with which you can understand by in context what the law should do. Keeping the man so long and you don't have a legal position to do so, you are yourself going against the law. So certainly there is political undertone in the persecution. It's a persecution in this case. But we cannot also say he's guiltless of whatever he's accused of. So you just follow the law. The law is subject for committing.
All right, Chris. Let's quickly run through this. Now, El-Rufai seems to have capitulated. The other day he said, that his statement about tapping or spying on Nuhu Ribadu, shouldn't be blown out of proportion, and that it's not a statement that he made ordinarily. Does it look like he's recanting or what? What do you see? What do you think?
You need to sit in the place El-Rufai has sat for a couple of days to be able to understand why you begin to now hear such double statements. It's psychologically torturing, even if it's kept in a commodious situation. When your freedom is restricted for 48, 36 hours, and you're a man that is used to being a man, having your way and all of that, you can begin to break. So he shouldn't say that, because that is not how it sounded when he said it. So if he's doing that, then he's breaking. That's the simple truth.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. I'll come back to you for your concluding thoughts on this. Now, Barrister, El-Rufai says, what I said the other day, people should not blow it out of proportion. It's an ordinary comment that I made. How do you see that statement? Does it look like he's backtracking? He has not. Maybe he has seen lawyers have told him the political implications of what he said. Of course. The legal implications of what he said.
Of course. He doesn't even need to. Because he has already gone to court to challenge DSS for ransacking his zone without court order and all that. And under the law, you cannot prosecute a man for what he said alone. You have to apply both the mental and physical elements, the mens rea and the actus rea.
Okay.
For you to get conviction. Was El-Rufai the one that actually tapped the telephone of the NESA? The answer is capital no.
Okay.
He says somebody. They would have even asked him to bring that somebody before they can now begin to hunt him down. Right now, the somebody is invisible. And you are now charging El-Rufai for something he did not commit. He did not commit.
Maybe they are charging him to provide the person that.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't.
So isn't that person an accomplice? Or who is an accomplice?
You
in
don't
this
do.
case? No, but I'm asking now.
Yes.
Who is an accomplice in this
Don't
matter?
worry. Don't
is
worry.
Is it El-Rufai or is it the person that tapped?
Mr. Okoro, I am beginning to think that this DSS or these government officials, they don't know the limit of their beats. They don't know the law. Look. If you ask me, they have El-Rufai is already free from this matter. The way they went about it.
But
I'm not joking.
Educators.
So I should come here. Did you pay me? I should come here and be interpreting the law for you, Abi.
You
come here. A matter that's in court. Let them come and see me.
Barrister, you are the analyst here. You said that he's almost free because.
I am telling you because
so
yes.
How is it
I have told they are charging him for something he did not do.
Okay.
Is that not enough to say?
If you buy a stolen property, are you liable?
You say what?
If you buy a stolen property, are you liable?
So what if I didn't know? If I go to Alaba,
ignorance of the law has become an excuse. Is that what you are telling me?
Hold on. If I go to Alaba International Market now and say I want to buy electronics and I enter the shop and I see so many of those electronics there, and I choose the one I want to buy and I selected and paid and they gave me receipt. Then tomorrow you come to my house and say I bought a stolen property. Please, on what ground will you succeed?
No, but we have seen people go to jail because they bought stolen property. I'm surprised that you are saying this.
Hold on. So all the property in the market, all of them are stolen. Is that what? When you have reasonable suspicion,
okay,
like you see a car, maybe a car.
Okay. No, let us reduce it to the El-Rufai case. Now, in this case, who should the government be trying? Is it wrong for the government to use El-Rufai to get to the person that tapped the NSS phone and now gave the notes to El-Rufai? Is it not proper? I have just told you here, it takes two to tango. Did the NSA come to you and say that truly my phone was tapped? Mr. Okoro, have you had Nuhu Rubadu tell you that actually, yes, I remember the day my phone was tapped. Okay, so Mr. Agomo, you are telling me that if you are driving on the road now and your vehicle is stolen by armed men and you simply walk home without reporting, now when the police recover the car and the man that stole it, that man is free because you have not reported to the police. Hold on, no. How would the police make a case where there is no report? When they arrest the man and they know and they prove beyond reasonable doubt that he doesn't own that car and he cannot. The police will take the car to their station and after 6 months they will auction it out. Okay. If the owner doesn't come. Yes. So if the owner comes. What? So if the owner comes. If you come after 6 months, you're on your own. No, if you come within 6 months. If you report, they will tell you, we have recovered the so car. Okay. So what are the evidence? What are the papers to prove that it's your own? Okay. At that point, yes. So your position now is because El-Rufai, because Nuhu Ribadu has not come out to tell Nigerian people my phone was tapped. Yes, that is where the case will start. So El-Rufai is free. I said, but the federal government has sued on behalf of Nuhu Ribadu. I said, don't worry yourself. You will see the drama in court. Okay, Barrister, let me have your conclusion. I pray you will have good lawyers. Okay, let me have your conclusion. Who will embarrass Nuhu Ribadu? I'm not joking. Barrister, let's have your concluding thought. My concluding thought is that Nigerians, please stop supporting godfathers. They are causing trouble in this democracy. Look at Soludo now. Does he have a godfather? That's why he's running Anambra State properly. That is why he can take decision to the benefit of Anambra people. Look at Alex Oti. Who told you that Soludo doesn't have a godfather? Who is his godfather? Who made him governor?
What do you mean by
Who
that?
made him governor?
No, you, look, leave the people. The people voted him in. He's working for the people.
Okay, the people didn't vote Fubara in. People didn't vote Fubara in.
Those people are not godfathers. They are doing their civic responsibility.
Who made Tulu the governor? That's what I'm asking.
I said they don't
governor?
have godfather in the order of Wike.
Okay. Okay, you have now changed it in the order of Wike.
Yes, these are the people who claim to. So these other people that are independent, are they not working for their state?
And get his concluding thoughts. Chris, in 30 seconds, please, can I have your concluding thoughts?
The ruling party should not think that there will not be a opposition party in Nigeria. Whatever they do, you can't kill our democracy. For democracy
All right. Well, network is very floppy at this time. I can't. You are breaking. I can't get.
Must have opposition.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris Ojekere. I must say a very big thank you to these two gentlemen, Mr. Darlington Agomo, lawyer and political affairs analyst, and Chris Ojekere, ADC spokesperson in Edo State, who came here in the capacity of a political affairs analyst and brought us up to the minute of what is going on with the attack on the ADC secretariat in Edo State. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and I hope that we can do this some other time. I appreciate your presence.
My pleasure.
All right, now on behalf of the backroom staff, technical director, bus manager, ingest engineer, and the sound manager, I am Chukwuma Okoro. Up next is Issues with Nana Andem. I'll see you again tomorrow, 8 o'clock on the morning show. Bye for now and enjoy the rest of your evening.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't understand.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. we break the biggest stories. From missing funds to policy failures, we ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Ika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
I'm Sarah Nystrom from Sweden, aka Chief Omobawale Communication Queen. Keep watching VOP TV.
I am Samantha Jacobs representing the States. Miami's in the house, and I want to make a shout out to VOP TV. I'm a humanitarian, and I'm also a rep in the film industry and the art industry. I help dreams come true, and I help you keep on that path. Shout out to VOP TV because you're helping people stay on their path too. Cheers.
All right, my name is John Odibo. Keep watching Voice of the People because it's a fantastic station to be with all the time. Thank you very much.
My name is Pastor Elvis Siru, the convener of the Voice Achievers Award, and keep watching VOP. Yes, that is the channel for all the people. No color, no race. Thank you so much.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this is Abasunkan from the Netherlands. I am a designer and I'm here in Eco Hotel and Suits. Keep watching VOP, the voice of the people. Don't touch that dial.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Ampelon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People television.